everyone, and thanks for joining today's session. So, today I'm really excited to walk you through the RM Copilot, an AI powered revenue intelligent assistant designed specifically for the hotel revenue teams, right? So, now before we jump into the live demo, I wanted to quickly explain something very important to you. So, RM Copilot is specifically designed to work like a virtual revenue manager, which is like a virtual revenue manager for your property, right? So the objective here is very simple. It reduce the time, like the reaction time. It increase the pricing intelligence, and it helps hotel teams to take faster revenue decisions with less manual effort. Is the only agenda to create the RM Copilot over here. Now, one of my first question is that how does the onboarding process works, and how the signals is generated, how the voice bot is trained, how my chatbot is trained. So to answer all that question, let me start from there. The onboarding process is extremely important because RM Copilot over here becomes intelligent based on your property's ecosystem, the business rules, and operational behavior. So it is a very important part. So the first is the AI chatbot. This allows the revenue manager, general managers, revenue teams to ask a direct business question to the AI chatbot or to the voice bot, like what is the cause of my ADR which is declined for the next week, so that you can directly ask. Instead of opening multiple reports, you can just see and ask whatever your question is and ask the recommendation and the reasoning to RM Copilot. So such types of questions you can also ask to AI voice bot. So the goal over here is very simple. It's like helping the revenue teams to move from data collection to a decision execution, right? So that is this process is much faster than the traditional one. So during this session, I'm going to show you exactly how that experience works in real time. So let's move into the live demo. So here you're seeing add property, click on it, and you'll see the begin property onboarding process. Click on it. So this is the first step in which you have to onboard your live property that is onboarded on the Revibon, and you need to onboard it on the RM Copilot platform, right? Then you can click. So whichever property that has RM Copilot enabled will seen over here, and you just select it. So here you can just select whatever the property you want to onboard. Then here you can see your brand affiliation, your property type. You should select it from here. Then last renovation, total rooms and year open. Then already this is by default whatever property you have selected. Based on that property, what is your room type, what is your PMS, everything it will be seen over here, right? So you need to just add remaining inputs. So here everything, street address from PMS, everything. Then click on the next tab. You can see here the market type, then primary demand drivers. You can select whichever you want to select. Let's say that this property is airport transportation hub. The primary demand drivers would be corporate, business, airport, university, convention center, seasonal resort, highway, drive-by, everything. Then we have all the other competitors with their weightages. You can give star. Let's say this competitor is about 3.5. This is 4 star. This is 3.5. This is 2. And let's say this one is 5. Your rate position in the market would be, so the rate leaders, above average, mid, pack, and value position, right? So here I'm selecting rate leader. Then any new hotel supply entering your market. If yes, you can enter. If no, you can just skip it. Then we have a revenue goal. So here we have annual room revenue target, which is already being here for this particular property. Then last year average ADR, which is 126, RevPAR goal, ADR goal, occupancy percentage goal, and year-on-year growth trend. Then we can see the primary KPI focus. Here we should select whichever the KPI that we want to focus on. So this is RevPAR, then we have total revenue, ADR, occupancy, or revenue index. So for this property, I'm selecting, let's say, revenue index, RGI. just important because we need to compare it with our comp set, right? So this is what I've selected. Then on strategy priority. So aggressive growth you want balanced approach, you want volume and occupancy first, or you want stabilize and protect. So I can select the balance approach because I want everything that needs to be balanced. Then I have Q1 to Q4 room revenue. So here every value for this property is there. Then we'll click on next step. We have pricing strategy. So here we can see we have absolute rate floor, absolute rate selling, which is very important in the season also. So we have 99 absolute rate floor and 149 selling, which is good for such type of property. Then we have bar tiers, which is 3. Then we have pricing philosophy. Here we have aggressive means we need to push rates. Moderate means smart optimization. Then we have conservative, which means protect volume. So I'm selecting moderate smart optimization over here. Then we have discount programmed offered, which is like corporate LNR, mobile exclusive, employee rate. I think I will selected everything. If I want to add anything on anything more programmed offer, then I can just write it here. We can add like let's say corporate discount and click on add and it will be here. Then we have OTA rate strategy in which we have flat parity, direct booking advantage, and OTA premium. So I'm selecting direct booking advantage, which is like 5 to 10% lower than the OTA rate. So that will be good for my property. Then we have distribution in channel strategy over here. We'll see that we have all the targeted channel mix which is there for your property. So we have direct OTA, corporate group and others. So we have the 43% for direct, 16% for OTA. You can adjust your rate, but you should remember that it should be 100%, not less or more than that. Then we have average OTA commission rate where you can adjust your number over here. Then we have preferred OTA partners where I've selected the booking.com, Expedia, hotels.com, Priceline, Agoda, TripAdvisor, and Google Hotels. So it's basically depends on whatever property that you have. Then we have guest segment, which is market segment mix. So here currently we have for this property, we have this much market segments. And for that segments, we have the total percentage. That percentage is basically based on which date you have onboarded this property. So we can see here we have corporate, we want corporate transient 25%, leisure direct 30%, OTA leisure is 20%, group and MICE which would be 15%, government would be 5 and other will remaining 5. So you can just increase it based on whatever requirement you have, like whatever suitables for your particular property, right? So that's how we can do this. Now then we have the key corporate accounts. So if your property has any corporate accounts, then the top 3 to 5 one are visible over here. If then we can see seasonality. So seasonality plays an important role in AI persona, that AI persona will understand about the seasonality based on whatever the values of let's say revenue, ADR, RevPAR or occupancy percentage you have. Based on that, AI persona will generate a knowledge based prompt in which he had every possible behavior for every month. Number for revenue we have, and we can see mid months are in the heat map will giving you the more revenue, generating you more revenue for this particular property. So if you have to check that right now, we can see we are on May. So we can select the May month and we have here Saturday to Sunday, right? So Saturday and Sunday month are the weakest and the strongest days. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday up to Saturday. And if you want to see the ceiling floor value, which is very important for a particular day, then you can just select on that day and you can see for Sundays we have the max rate selling value, which is $151, and the mean rate would be $120, which is very useful for the seasonality. Also, we have the events that happen, or the high demand dates events, and if you want to remove anything from this part, you can just remove it by selecting it, right? Then we have known compression date, which is high demand date. So every high demand dates are here, so for that particular year. Then we have one another feature, which is customized. So here, whatever you have generated the revenue for that particular year, you can change it, like by, you can see here we have January month, right? So for January we have strongest and weakest day. Then we can see that for Sunday we have 99 max rate and floor would be min rate. So let's say for May, we have strongest day, which is Saturday, and weakest day is Thursday, right? So let's say for the strongest day, which is Saturday, we have $130 max selling rate and floor min rate would be 104, right? So here for May, we have Saturday over here, we have 130. So we want this to be 137, right? My selling value would be 137. So we can see over here we have May, Saturday we have 137 rate. So you can customize, and based on your customization, it will reflect in your selling price and floor price. So that's how you can change. That's how the seasonality works, and it is very important for generating the AI persona. Then we have a special context. So in special context, we have like any special circumstances that happen, like renovation thing happen, or a big project that you are planning to change your hotel location, or you are doing the renovation of your hotel. Then you can add that information if possible. Then we have copilot behavior. So in Copilot behavior, we have communication style, that what style do you want, like concise and direct, detailed and analytical, or executive summary. So here I've selected detailed and analytical because I want mostly that part, like I want it to be detailed, answered, and analytical side. So that's why I selected that. Then we have alert sensitivity, in which we have an should RM Copilot flag signals. So I should say the high sensitivity signal I want more, where like a small change that I want to applied it on whatever the part, then it will catch it and it will alert me that this is the signal which is high sensitivity signals, right? Then we have decision authority, in which how much should RM Copilot do. So it will just recommended you, or it will recommended and prepared, or auto adjust with bounds. So I would say that it will be my recommended and prepared one. Then we have Copilot personality, in which we have strategic advisor, data analytics, and RM coach. So I can say it will be my strategic advisor, which is very beneficial. Then we have priority focus areas, where I've selected everything. Then we have email that will be auto sending to you. Like if you select every morning, then it will give you the every morning. If you select weekdays only, then it will give you the weekday part. So I've selected every morning over here. Next. Then as we have seen the AI persona in part 1, if you haven't seen, then you can just watch the part 1 of RM Copilot persona. You will know that how the questionnaire helps to generate the AI persona. So we have every possible questions there, or based on every KPI, like forecasting, then group, budgeting, everything we have there. And based on that scenario that we have selected, we generated this RM Copilot persona, where we have decision making, pricing strategy, group and segment, and everything. And then we have the review and activate thing, in which whatever the onboarding process sheet that you have filled, based on that, we have generated this RM Copilot AI persona, in which it will give you the identity, the dimensions, the decision making, the demand signals, the channel distribution, that whatever thing you have selected, group and segments, risk appetite elasticity, ownership stakeholders, strategic origin, and every possible instruction. Along with that, whatever we have selected, the communication styles, the channels, guidelines, then the demand alerts, pricing philosophy, decision making style, everything. Like here you can see ownership first, transparent about OCC gap, pausing price action until demand anomalies are understood and the recovery plan is clear. So that's how this all instruction is fed to the RM Copilot to generate the better signals, to generate better recommendation price and everything for your hotel. So now we can see how the chatbot works. Okay, so this is Chat with Copilot session. Here we have all the signals that is fired by the RM Copilot for this property, like a rate under pricing, demand spikes, event proximity, and everything. If you want to talk more about that particular signal, that why it is fired and what is the reason behind it, then you can just select and chatbot will give you the answer for it. Now here we have predefined questions. You can ask like what's my 24-hour pickup and which dates are gaining the most. What's my OTA discount exposure this month and compare our rate versus ComSat for next 7 days. So let's try talking with the chatbot. Let me ask, hi, can you tell me today's strategy and action points? Let's see what RM Copilot gives. So we all have the KPI over here. Then we have all our active signals present over here. Then we have a predefined question where you can ask whatever doubt or query you have directly to the RM Copilot. Okay, so chatbot giving us the answer. So for today's 28th of May, we have our rate optimization, which is critical. ADR is $116 and our target is $142 and the ComSet is at $200, which is we are much below. Then ComSet positioning is like that we are at a gap of $30 to $84. Then we have the channel mix, which says unfavorable because group is dominant over here, retail OTA nearly absent, right? Then pickup here we can see only 4 rooms in last 7 days. Then we have OTA commission cost, budget pace, a forecast accuracy, which is compromised because group driven and transient underperforming. Then we have segment mix shift, which is opportunity, and this two segments, retail and OTA. So observation and evidence says that occupancy is 68% with 209 slash 309 rooms, but 186 are group. So in this property, the group ratio is much bigger than the transient. Then we can say, then RM Copilot is saying that retail OTA segments are nearly absent, only 13 rooms. For these two segments, ADR is at $116, which is $26 below the goal and $84 below the ComSet average, which is true. The RevPAR is saying that it is $79, which is above the goal, which is a plus point, but this is driven by the group volume, not rate strength, right? Then we have the last 7 days room, the system recommendation and the actual recommendation price and the ComSet, where here we can see our competitors' rates and our rates is below the competitor rates. The impact over here is we are underpricing, heavy on the group side. RGI is well below 1.0, indicating we are losing fair share to competitors. If ADR is not corrected earlier, we risk further budget underperformance and long-term market positioning damage, which is a very strategic point that if we are not correcting our ADR or bar rate right now, then we were leaving the money on the table, right? The recommendation over here is very important part. Immediate rate correction and channel optimization are required. Rise all the bar like by 20 to 30% for tonight and for next 2 days, which says that target is at $149 to $159 for the base rooms and do not drop below $149, right? So the restricted deep discount OTAs to no more than 5%, which is very good point because of the OTA commission part. So here it says that close out OPQ slash flash sale channels, right? Which is very good point. Prioritize Hilton Direct and loyalty channels for remaining inventory, which is also a good point. Communicate new rate strategy to front desk and reservations. Monitor pickup hourly and flex down only if occupancy drops below 60% by 6 p.m. And protect the remaining retail inventory for high value transient booking, because if you have a property, then you would know that transient booking for high value members is getting much it's giving generating much more revenue than the group ones, right? So protect the transient booking. Then rising ADR from 116 to 149 on 23 remaining rooms, we can on this much incremental revenue tonight. Here you can focus on this word tonight, and if applied for next 2 days, align with ComSet and system recommendation, improving RGI and RevPAR, right? Minimal risk of occupancy loss. Group already filled most of the rooms for this property. High risk of continued underperformance if rates are not corrected. So yeah, that's how this things works. You can see based on the graphs also, like what is our rate comparing to what is the competitor is, based on what the strategy and recommendations is saying. If you want to see the projected impact based on if you can change 116 to $149 bar, then if you want to check what is your occupancies look like and how your occupancy is dropping or not, then you can use the Revivol, one of the feature from the Revivol, which is what if simulator. So it will tell you that if you set this much price, then how that affect to your occupancy numbers, right? So you can check that out. So that's how the chatbot is working. Whatever questions, queries you have, just write over here and it will give you the best possible strategic and action items. So let's talk with the RM Copilot voice board.
Hello, I'm your RM Copilot. How can I assist you today? Got
Hello.
it. Let's focus on a rate move.
Hello. Can you tell me about my today's strategy?
Sure, let's focus on the strategy for today. I recommend holding rates steady in the mid-tier segment because the booking pace shows a stable 72% occupancy. Are you also looking to assess the next week's outlook or focus on a specific segment?
Yes, I want to know based on my segment mix channels, what should be my recommendations and action items for that?
Shift focus on corporate bookings because they show a plus 5% ADR gap and leisure demand is stable. Let's also check availability for the next 7 days. Should we proceed with adjusting the mix?
Yes, we can.
Shift 10 rooms from OTA to corporate negotiations because the corporate ADR gap shows plus 2.5% compared to last year's corporate segment. Should we also monitor group segment next?
Yes. Tell me what
Great.
is my group segment is saying.
Hold the group segment at current levels because the ADR shows $112, which aligns with last year's pace. How about checking the next 7 days for any shifts in booking?
Yeah, sounds great. Let's check next 7 days for any shift in the booking pace or not.
We're currently tracking occupancy behind by 5 points for the group segment, 186 rooms on the books versus 251 last year. I recommend adjusting group inventory downward by 10 rooms over the next 7 days to protect ADR. Would you like to review those dates in more detail?
Yes, I would like to review those dates and the detail, please.
Understood. For the next 7 days, we see the group pickup currently significantly behind last year on several dates, especially Sunday at 16% occupancy versus last year's 44%. We should analyze each day's specific pickup. Which day would you like to examine first?
Let's check for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, Friday, the group block has 269 rooms on the books, and last year it was 231 rooms, so we're ahead by 38 rooms. Let's keep that in mind for protecting rate. Would you like to adjust anything else?
Yes, I want to know more detail about the signal that is fired by you. What is the action items and what is my deadline for that?
Action item. Monitor group pickup daily and adjust the group block by reducing 10 rooms if the pace doesn't improve. Deadline. Next 2 days for an initial review. Does that work for your timeline?
Yes, can you tell me my action items for the next 7 days and also the deadlines and the honor for it?
Sure. 4. Here's the plan. For the next 7 days, continue monitoring group pickup daily. Adjust by reducing the group block by 10 rooms if needed, and track BDR shifts. Deadlines review every 48 hours, with first analysis by end of day tomorrow. Does that timeline work for you?
Yes. Can you tell me what is my out of order room for today? And what is my left to sale inventory? And at what price I should sell my first 5 to 10 rooms?
Close 5 to 10 rooms on lower price tiers because occupancy is at 68% today, and pushing those rates at $116 ADR can help recapture demand. Does that align with your target rate strategy?
Yes, that aligns. But pushing those rates by 116 ADR would, I think the occupancy would drop by some percentage, right?
That's a good point. If we push the ADR to $116, the occupancy might drop slightly. Based on current patterns, around 1 to 3 percentage points. We should monitor closely. Does that level of occupancy drop sound acceptable?
Okay, and what is my 7-day outlook is saying? And based on that, what should be my rate strategy?
Push rates by $10 in the mid tier segment for the next 7 days because the forward looking demand shows a steady trend. Does that align with your goals?
Based on which factor you are suggesting me that I should push my rates by $10?
We should push rates by $10 because the booking page shows only 68% occupancy today, and the system forecast over the next 7 days is stable. Does that address your concern?
Yes. Thank you. So that's how the RM Copilot voice bot works. It gives you best possible action items based on whatever the data that you input in the onboarding sheet and in the 30 scenarios that we have already discussed in the part 1. So based on that, we train the LLM, and likewise the RM Copilot behaving for your property, and it will give you that particular, like for segment, for forecast, for budget, for every KPI that matters to your property and that will generate more and more revenue for your property. So that's how the RM Copilot works. So we have RM Copilot, chat with Copilot, the signals that is generated by Copilot. You can schedule your meeting. You can send automated daily mails to whoever the person in your whole team. It will get every day, daily, weekly, monthly reports also, emails also. And so that's how the RM Copilot makes a revenue manager lives much easier, so that you do not miss any of the opportunity, like pricing opportunity, or you do not leave the money on the table. You can get every possible action items down to your laptop screen, so that you can monitor everything and you can check whether your price is working for your property or not working for your property. And if you have any doubt regarding it, or if you have any suggestion for it, just comment below. And if you have to see your property through the Revivol lens, and if you want to use RM Copilot for your hotel property, then do visit revivol.ai and schedule your demo today. So that is for today's session. See you in the next video.